Crafters. In tonight's video, we're going to be making our last Christmas in July card. We're going to create a thank you fun fold card using the Seasonal Cheer Embossing Folders. Hi, I'm Joan and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I created this video for Joan Simple Papercrafts found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Except for I'm going to take a break. I'll be back August 16th. Now give me a few seconds to turn the camera down and we'll get started. Here's that card we're making today. We're going to use the Seasonal Cheer Mini Embossing Folder. We'll use this one here, that's the peppermint candy canes. And then from Paradise Garden, we're just going to take this thank you. And then from our phrases and dies, we're going to take this piece right here. That's the second largest frame. So we're going to go ahead and get started right away. And what we want to do is we want to bring in our cardstock. We've got a piece of thick basic white, and it's cut at 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and we're going to cut this down. But before we do that, I want to score it. So let me get my trimmer up here. This is our trimmer, and it has two blades on here. This is our scoring blade, and this is our trimming blade, and they are in this track here, so we can move this out of the way, and I'm able to trim the entire length of the track. And then I added a third one, so if I was doing foil or glitter, that would keep this blade sharp, because when you use foil glitter, it's going to dull it. This will be used on the foil and glitter. We don't have any of that today, so I'm moving that out of the way too. We want to score this at 5 1/2 inches, and that's going to be 14 centimeters. Then we need to cut this off from here 2 3/4 inches, or that's going to be 7 centimeters. Okay, and that's all we need to do right now from that. I'll put my trimmer away. Then we're just going to fold and burnish this. Let me get my scoring tool out. We're just going to fold this away and just burnish it. And I like to burnish it on both sides. That'll give it a nice crisp edge. And then what we want to do inside here is I would like to use this and give it some dimension on the inside panel. And I made one up to make sure that it would work. So this is what we're going to do today. So we've got this dimensions right through here. So we're going to bring up our large cut and emboss machine, and we're going to use this pattern right here. We need the number 1 plate, that's this plate here, and 2 number 3 plates. Here's one, and here's the other one. And we're going to do this in 2 passes. So I'm going to set this in here like this and get it as close as I can to the top there. And I've got it at about the halfway mark. I could have measured this and like put a pencil line in there to make sure that it was halfway. I just need to make sure it's somewhat halfway. Then we're just going to go ahead and put it in here. And I want to make sure we didn't shift on me. And then we're going to put our second number 3 plate on there. And we just crank that out. And we're going to take this out and we're going to put it on the other side. And we're just going to line it up here again. There, we've got that entire pattern there. And then we're going to put this back. And next we want to do is cut the inner pattern. This is what we had just cut off from here. We want to trim this down to 2 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And I've already got that done, just to save us some time. And we need 2 of those. Here's one, and here's the other one. And I've already have it attached to this frame that's going to be done on the inside here. I just thought I'd save us some time. We want to stamp with the thank you before we put it through the embossing folder, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get the right lettering on there. It wouldn't look very nice. So I'm going to get some Real Red ink, and we're just going to get that on here. And I'm just going back and forth. I don't want to have a divot in the middle there. So, and I want to center this on this card, up and from top to bottom and right to left. Okay, so that's good. And we're going to go ahead and clean that stamp off right now. I'm getting the excess ink off so that my Stampin' Scrub stays a lot cleaner for longer periods of time. And here's our Stampin' Scrub right here. And I'm going to use our Stampin' Mist on this side here. I have a raindrop up there, so I know that this should be the wet side. And there's a sunbeam right here. So this would be the dry side. So let's go ahead and spray this. And you're going to notice that it's still pink, but if I stamp, you can see that it is clean. So that just stained it, that's all. Let's go ahead and take this and glue this down. So this we've already got ready to go. And I'm just going to take this piece that I used from before, and I know that it fits right in there. And I'm going to line it up there. And then I can just glue this down in here. And I need my glue gun ready. This is the glue that we're going to be using. You can find this in the catalog. It's Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. And it'll work inside this glue gun. This glue gun is not a Stampin' Up product, but I can't squeeze this anymore. I have arthritis, and it's too hard for me to squeeze this and get any kind of glue out of there. So this has a lever on there that allows you to squeeze it, and it works really nice. And it comes in this holder, and there's a rubber stopper at the bottom of the holder, so I can just set it in here while we're doing other things. It'll keep the glue from drying out. Somebody had some really good ideas there. So I'm just going to set that like that, and we're going to get this set up. Let me get my silicone mat here. I don't want to get glue all over everything. And I just need to see which way it's going. Oh, here we go. This is the back side. I almost put the glue down on the wrong side. Okay, so we're going to line this up in here. That looks good. And then I'm just going to set this in here and drop it in place. So then I know that that is going to be centered where I want it to be. Oh, and I just twisted it. Okay, and then I'm going to just peel this off. Then we need to do this one here. And we need to get the frame, and we need to emboss this. So we have two things we got to do. We got to cut the red frame out and emboss the card. So let's do that next. And we're going to use our mini cut and emboss machine. That's pretty easy to use. Then we're going to take this and cut our card out, and we're going to use this pattern here again, the number 1 plate and 2 number 2 plates. Let me get this one. This is the one that's etched up, and then this will go in there next, and then on top of that, and crank that out. And let me see if I can't get my Take Your Pick tool to get that out of there. So let's get our embossing folder, and we're going to put that on here. We'll line it up right here, like that. And then we want to make sure we put where the folded end into the machine first. And we're going to be using, for the small one, we're going to use we're going to use the number 1 plate and the number 3 plate. So here's our number 1 plate. Here's our embossing folder, that's the folded end. And then our number 3 plate right here. Then we'll just crank that out. There, that looks great. And we need to trim that down to 2 3/8 by 3 3/4. And we're going to center this. So I'm going to take 1/4 off this side, 3 3/4. Take a 1/4 inch off on that side. That is 3 3/4 inches. Then we need to do the same thing on this side, so we're going to take about 1/4 inch off. And then this should be 2 3/8 inches. This is 2 3/8 inches or 6 centimeters, or 3 3/4 inches or 9.5 centimeters. Then we're going to take our silicone mat and we're going to glue this up. So we're going to put glue on here like this. There we go. Then we want to press this down and have it match. I have this going into each corner, about the same amount of distance, and a little bit on each side, so that looks good. There, and we'll let that set up for right now. And what we need to do next is our red card. We need a piece cut at 2.5 inches by 4 inches. So let's take this and see what we got here. We need 2.5 inches by 4 inches. So we'll do 4 inches there, and let's bring in the 2.5. And next we want to do is emboss this. So let's bring in our cut and emboss machine again. So again, we need our number 1 plate and a number 3 plate and our embossing folder. So what we're going to do, we're going to do the same thing as we did the other one, like that. And then we're going to just put it in with the folded edge first, and then the number 3 plate, and then crank it out to emboss. We're done with the cut and emboss machine. And we'll pull this out, and then I'm going to bring in that paper that we're using here. I'm just going to cover this up. Now we want to put some Versamark on there with our briar. So let me see if I can get that. Before we do that, we're going to use our ecstatic. This is some powder in here. That'll keep the static electricity down so that the stray powders will release. So let's see if we can get that to work. And we just want to load this up. See that? I'm going to do a little bit on this side, yeah. Okay. And we're just going to and we'll bring in our white embossing powder. This works great, doesn't it? I'm just going to tap off that excess. And you see there's some in there, and some of that is because the rollers hit that paper there, but I'm going to try and knock that off. And I'm just going to change this where we got it so I can knock some more off. Yep, that looks good. A couple strays there, but it'll be fine. It'll make it look good. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way so that we don't heat it up and have some glossy embossing powder. And then let's use our heat tool to heat this up. We'll do the back side first. Then we'll come around to the front. Some of it's already getting glossy. I like how that turns. That looks good. We'll let that cool, and I'm just going to clean this up. We've got some stray powder here. We'll just take that. I think it's easier just to grab another silicone mat than try to get the stray powder off of there right now. Okay, so let's bring this back in here. All we need is our piece here, and we're going to put some tape on the back. This is our tear-in tape, and I like to use the tear-in tape because of it being embossed. It allows you to get a good stick. You could use liquid glue, but you want to make sure it's completely dry before you add another piece on top of it. And since we're doing a fancy fold, we don't want to have it pull out on us. I'm just going to burnish that with my fingers and then just pull this tape off the backing. Okay, then we just want to set that on here, and we want to make sure that it's 1/8 of an inch from the top, bottom, and side. Try to center it there. Then we want to bring this in here. Before we do that, we're going to bring some dimensionals, and we're going to just put some right here. That way we know that that's not going to go beyond that point, because you don't want to be able to see those from the inside. Then on here we'll put the rest of them right in here. Just make sure you got it going on the right side there, and one in the middle. Then we're going to use this again. I'm going to put that right here around that so that the top is lined up with the bottom. Let me get that off. And we're just going to line it up right here, and then right there. We pull that out, and we should be good. I think we're done. We're not done. I need to put on my gems. We're going to put the large gem right down here, right about there. Then we'll put 2 of the smaller gems right up here. One right there, and one right here. Now I would say we are done. Well, I hope you liked this project as much as I did. Why don't you give it a try? If you've enjoyed today's video, would you do me 2 favors? Click the thumbs up emoji, which means you like it. And would you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or would like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. Mark your calendars. I'll be back in 3 weeks on Sunday, August 16th at 7 p.m. Central Time, and we'll be doing something from the May to August catalog. I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I look forward to next time. Bye for now. And don't forget to subscribe.